Kill all demons for Yin's sake! Kill all demons for Yin's sake! Sang Tzu chimed proudly, marching around the mountain. Don't worry, Yin Shen. No demon will harm you. I'll protect you. The eerie, unsettling sounds of crawling bugs terrified him to the core, but he wasn't willing to stop and cry. He swore he would protect you. He wasn't going to lie to you, ever. Well, maybe later on, but this was a serious situation. You gave him a good luck charm, and just that, even if it wasn't your lips on his hand, it was consent. He was more than satisfied. No one gets to even cross gazes with a deity. That was for sure. Zenitsu stopped running around and closed his eyes, concentrating as hard as he could. He only heard demon-like wrestling all over the place, some spiders, and he suddenly opened his eyes, determined and unflattering. Found one! It took him long enough to find the demon, or well, the place where the demon resided. A run-down shack that dangled from spider webs. The demon's lang member were also hanging from spider webs. Some were bald, others with no limbs. With those with no luck were human heads with spider bodies. Zenitsu trembled in fear. He was going to end up like that too. This is for Yin Chen. The blonde shook his head, tossing aside his fears and clenching his fist tightly. This is for her. What kind of man would I be if I run away now? Zenitsu kept his calm composure and glanced at the house. Oi, I know you're there. Get out already. If the blonde was scared before, he was terrified now. The demon crawled out of the house. It had a body of a spider and the head of a human, or demon. Yeah, a demon. You sure have some guts, kid. The demon crackled. But it's already too late for you. Why would you say that? Zenitsu's eyes widened lightly. Have you checked your hands? The demon kept laughing. Zenitsu puzzled look at his hands. There's nothing. The demon stopped laughing, now looking at Zenitsu's hand with disbelief. The demon was sure that he stung Zenitsu, but how could he remain unsheathed? Yinshin's good luck charm! Zenitsu blushed, eyes widened. He wanted a kiss, but ended up getting immunity against demons. Oh, well. Yin, that stupid I am God brat. The demon clenched its teeth. She's here. The demon couldn't even react. All he saw was a thing moved and rolled quickly. Don't you dare insult her, Zenitsu said in a dark tone, lightly growling as he sheathed his sword once again. You're not even allowed to say her name. The demon, angered to no end, couldn't bear the fact that he, a strong, powerful demon, was killed so easily by an infected brat guy. Well, you're surely never making that mistake again. Zenitsu walked away, paying no attention to his surroundings as much as possible. Now, where's the other demon? You were walking beside Rui, admiring the forest. Rui and you engaged a couple of sentences and words. I will make sure that no Demon Slayer members harms you or your family members. You smiled kindly at Rui, who, so dimly smiled back with a blush. The gods kept telling you to escape, but the demon? That from the demon, but you ignored them. You already knew he was a demon. No need to keep reminding you. Stop it already, please, you said in your head, mudding away their voices. They're not my family, Rui muttered. At least not anymore, he thought. Oh, I see. You trailed off. Brother, a female voice called. Both Rui and you turned heads towards the owner of the voice. a young, white-haired demon girl. Her skin was pure white. Her eyes were a sky blue. She seemed afraid, just gripped aside, although she was a tad bit concerned about you being alive near him. She paid no attention to your presence. Mom, Dad, and Big Brother have been defeated. Your eyes widened. As much as you were glad about your fellow demon-slaying comrades having a success victory, you were sorry you couldn't save and free those demons. Hey, the demon girl said with a shaking voice. Her face changed, and so did her eyes and features. We should run. Run. A terrifying presence overtook you. It felt overwhelming, and, most of all, terrifying. All of that negativity was emitted from Rui and directed towards the female demon. He used the strings in his hands to make cuts in the demon girl's face. She wept in pain. Rui, why did you hurt her? I told you already. They aren't my family, Rui said with rage in a dull, cold tone. It made you extremely uneasy. Despite your fear, you helped the demon girl stand up. She looked at you, wondering why you help her. Run, before he does something bad to you, you said to her. She hummed and nodded and quickly left the scene. Before Rui could get angry at your actions, a male voice erupted. Yin! You looked at your side. A red hair emerging from the bushes, his face red panic. Tanjiro! You ran towards the boy, hugging him dearly. He pampered kisses on the side of your face and forehead. I'm so glad you're all right. I was so worried about you, Tanjiro said, his ragged brows being clearly heard. I was about to say that to you. You breathed out with a relief smile and giving him a small, quick kiss. You. Rui's merciless voice made Tanjiro stand in front of you, protectively. The demon boy was beyond angered. His rage could be seen from miles of thousands away. You two already have a bond together. So what if we do? Tanjiro growled lowly, aiming his sword at the demon. Your eyes widened as shivers rapidly coursed through your body. God's holy tunic. The threads that tried to aim at Tanjiro were soon dissolved. They disappeared. The light started to burn the demon, which soon backed away. Tanjiro sent you a scolding yet worried look. He used to give you that look more than once. Said glance meant that he was thankful for your help, but he would rather not having you risk yourself. Listen, demon slayer. Rui spoke with a tired sigh, yet his monocloaked face remained. I'm not in a good mood at this moment, so just hand Hanao over, and I will spare your life. Both you and Tanjiro gritted your teeth with anger. The one who reacted quicker to Rui's words was, of course, you. I beg your pardon? Yin, don't. Tanjiro held your arm and softly moved you towards the bushes. He left Nezuko's box with you. What are you doing? Let me fight, you demanded. I don't want you to get hurt. Tanjiro rested his forehead over yours, and then looked at the demon. Put Yin out of this. And why do you even want her? My reasons don't concern you, Rui glared. Then I guess I'll have to kill you, Tanjiro said with a low growl, and then ran towards the demon. What a troublesome child. Rui scoffed. You watched the boys fight, unable to interfere due to not wanting Tanjiro to get more injuries than the others he already had. Why do I never get grand battles like the ones Tanjiro and Inosuke have? You said to yourself. Hell, even Kayaka and Zenitsu have better demon fights. You looked at Nezuko's box. I've been stressed a lot today, you said, caressing the box. You felt something pull you away from Nezuko's and leaving you dangling mid-air, as if you were a butterfly trapped on a spider web. Yin! Tanjiro exclaimed. Don't worry. I'll take care of her properly, Rui said. She's now a part of my new family, after all. A family of two. Our bonds will be the strongest. You are growing tired of it. being taken away and locked up in a metaphoric tower over and over, unable to venture or do things on your own. This was no different than your life at home, truth be told. You left your house because you wanted to do things on your own, to live freely, of course. Receiving help was not bad, but Tanjo and everyone else were crossing many torturous levels. Even the gods thought little of you. You were what people might refer to a demigod, yet you were treated like a simple peasant. It was all. Everything was. Everyone was. I'm growing tired of this, you angrily say. The trees swung in the air, resolved with strength. Rui and Tanjo stopped their silly fight to look at you. Anyways, being saved, overprotected, and taken care of, I am not capable. Am I not capable enough? The sound of thunder became present, but none were seen. Lightning decorated the dark clouds that loomed over the mountain. So did a strange and great presence. I possess strength, yet I am weak? What a joke! The threads started to break one by one, making you fall. A tree root grew and caught you before your body could impact against the ground. It slowly set you down. You took out your sword and stood tall against the demon. Blind rage weakens the most distress and delicate of evoke. I have been overtaken by the strongest and most powerful emotions. So, Abreu, I declare my wrath to thee. You got into a fighting position, your eyes glistening with small traces of white. You grit your teeth. God breathing. Fourth form. Rage of Akapu Kami. In a blink of an eye, you disappeared. Rui looked around, his eyes lightly widening. Tanjiro panicked, unfamiliar with this angry side of yours. They all saw was a flash of favorite color jumping from tree to tree and occasionally landing on the ground. There was no pattern that could dissuade your movements, and Tanjiro wasn't able to use his scent to predict your next move. All he could smell was loath and despair. Did you feel useless? Rui made red thread extend around him, hoping to end your nonsense. Of course, it didn't work. Your constant attacks severed every single thread, quickly reaching him. The anger of a patient one is surely the one we are to fear the most, you said coldly, slicing Rui's head off and breaking away. The demon boy watched with disbelief. So this is why you were so special to Master. Despite your fragile-looking self, your divinity gave you the power greater than what you ever thought. And also, your negative aura was merely paired to his master's. You breathed heavily, looking how Rui disappeared. Once there was no trace of him, you tried to calm yourself down. Yin, the greater my negative emotions are, the more damage I do, you interrupted, not sparing a glance at Tanjiro. This might be the reason why we mortals art, to let out what makes us restless and stress, to not collect these feelings inside ourselves. We would not be blessed by the gods, of course, but we would have these same hideous and despiteful strengths to do wrong, leading us to attend the sin of wrath. I'm sorry for not taking your feelings into consideration. I love you greatly, and I too care about you. I never thought I was actually hurting you. Tanjiro apologized, looking at the ground with fisted hands. I promise to never hurt you, but even the best of couples lack communication. Fret not, you sighed, taking a sigh again and walking to Tanjiro and hugging him, patting his back softly. You soon broke the hug. I know that even gods can feel angered, and they even so often awful happens do ease down, but I feel like it's incorrect for me to do so. I have lost my temper, which could have led me to worse scenarios if I wasn't careful and sane enough. The last sentence pinned Tanjiro by some reason. as if they directed him towards him. He shook the feeling off, convincing himself that he never did anything selfish by blind emotions. Such an unprofessional and childish trait of mine, isn't it? You sighed once again, smiling tiredly at Tanjiro. He tapped your nose cutely. It's a trait that's part of you, and I love all of you. You blushed and pouted, looking away. Let's defeat the next demon. I'll go get Nezuko. Tanjiro beamed, walking somewhere. You followed. Once he made Nezuko's box on his back, he grabbed your hand. Let's go. Wait. You let go of Tanjiro's hand and looked around carefully. Ian, are you all right? Tanjiro asked, but soon understood. There was another scent nearby. It wasn't Zenitsu's nor Inosuke's, but it was familiar. Come on, what now? We know you're spying on us, he demanded. If you're an enemy, then at least face your opponent. Have you no shame, pride to hold on to? A male voice said in a dull tone, I'm not an enemy, and I do have pride. From the shadow the trees provided, a male demon slayer walked out. His hair was long and black-colored. His eyes seemed tired and emotionless, just like his face. For a second there was a faint blush on his face, and his eyes shone a little. Why do you spy on your own comrades if you were prey upon us? You asked. Speak up, and do tell us your name. Togedogi, he hummed. I am here because there is a demon amongst you. He's probably referring to Nezuko, Tanjiro whispered. You nodded. The demon you, Togedogi, have sensed is a harmless one. As unbelievable as it sounds, you announced. No demon is harmless, Giyu said. My sister hasn't eaten a single human in 2 years. We swear, Tanjiro said worriedly. Giyu looked at him. His eyes widened. Before another oncoming stranger could pierce the thin blank of her sword into the wooden box, both Giyu and you stopped her with your own swords, pushing her away. Her sweet yet sickeningly fake smile was an eyesore to you. You swore you saw someone with distant and empty eyes like hers before. Oh my, she said in a tone of voice too sweet yet too nauseating. It irked you how much she faked that kind of motherly tone so much. It reminded you of someone who worked in the shrine in your home. Why are you protecting a demon inside that box, Togeda-san? Why are you attacking the unsurmountable demon? You glanced. She still holds her mortality and righteousness. I would not say that she has a sense of humanity. You behave through at least, although you are human. So, you're Yin Hanao. She smiled, clasping her hands together. I'm so sorry. I'm afraid you have no influence here. Please don't meddle any of further unless you want to end up in serious circumstances. I am willing to stand for what I believe is right, even if it costs me my life, you said. Yin, Tanjiro whispered/yelled. Both of you run away as fast as you can, and as far as possible, Giyu ordered. Both Tanjiro and you doing so as you were told. You didn't hear the end of your conversation. You were already quite far. We have to find Kayaka, you said, still running. I'm not leaving without him. Tanjiro nodded. Out of nowhere, Tanjiro got kicked down. One of the box straps broke and Nezuko rolled out of the box. Nezuko! You immediately knelt down next to her, searching for injuries. Oh, I'm glad you're okay. I'm sorry you have to stay in that box and endure all this inconvenience. Both Tanjiro and I am sorry. Nezuko was sitting on the ground in a cute manner. She hummed and patted your head. Yin, a thud was heard behind you. When you looked, you saw Tanjiro tackle the female demon, the one from Final Selection. Take Nezuko and run, Tanjiro said with a struggling tone. You nodded and carried Nezuko in your arms, holding her against your chest dearly. She reminded you of Kayaka so much at this moment. You kept running, looking for a place to hide. You eventually found a tree stump that had a hole. Perfect. You made a turn. The girl quickly caught up to you. She was about to kick you down, just like with Tanjiro, but you dodged her attack. It was difficult to run in a dark mountain, carry an infant, and avoid any kicked by some stranger. Finally, all that chase-a-go-round game came to an end. "Listen, both of you. Listen carefully," Kitsu claimed proudly. "Captured Tanjo, Kamado, Nezuko, Kamado, Yen Hano, and Kayaka Kodoku." Both you and the girl stopped running. You set Nezuko down, who soon began rolling on the ground and playing with a pile of leaves. "Tanjo Kamado has a scar on his forehead. Nezuko Kamado bites on a piece of bamboo. Yin Hanao wears a favorite colored and second favorite colored hori. Kayaka Kodoku is a small child that wears second favorite color and favorite color haori." Kitsu kept talking. "Find the correct and restrain them. Bring them to headquarters immediately." "So you two are Nezuko and Yin?" The girl spoke. Indeed we are." You glanced at her, holding Nezuko's hand. People in black clothing appeared. Their eyes were the only thing visible. "Don't resist, ma'am," one of the people dressed in black said, holding your arm behind you and tying them. The rope not broken. "What the?" "They tried tying you again and again, but the ropes were cut loose." "You should know better than tying up a lady as if she were cattle." You hummed, unamused. "Sorry, we were given the orders to." Another person wearing black said, "I will accompany you without making a spectacle." You grabbed Nezuko's box and then looked at the aforementioned demon. "Go on, Nezuko. Get back in there. I apologize for the inconvenience." Nezuko hummed and made herself smaller. She then sat inside the box again and closed the door. You looked at the Kubushugi. "You may escort me back to the headquarters," you said, smiling. "Wake up. Wakey, wakey. Is he dead? Such a non-flamboyant way to die." That ant fell on Okita-sama's roof. All Tanjo heard were voices, but none of them were familiar. Many scents mixed around, worsening his panic. "Wake up!" The red-haired groggily opened his eyes. He had his arms tied and he was laying on his stomach, over the rocky ground beneath him. "Where am I?" he groaned, feeling dizzy. His aching state was soon gone when he remembered. "Yin!" "I'm next to you, fret not." Tanjo nearly broke his neck due to how fast he looked at his side. There you were, sitting over your legs, your hands on top of your thighs as you glanced set in front of him. "Where's Nezuko?" he panicked. "She's inside the house behind us." Kayaka beamed. "Kayaka, please calm down," you said calmly. Kayaka obeyed. "Please don't speak any further, either of you." "But why?" "Silence!" a male voice erupted Tanjo. It was a tall man with strange pattern around his eyes. "Have you some respect? For you are now standing in front of the pillars."